Now, with both of you guys being public figures doing your Clout Route show, have you guys ever had to experience doxing or a fan interaction that you really didn't feel comfortable with? And if you have, can you speak to it a little bit?
We have been doxed before, to the, I would say, to the furthest degree that you could do it. Somebody kind of did a full spread on us. Now, the methods they have to gain all this information online, it's usually like a shotgun blast. So they get some information, they get some wrong, yada yada. So when it happened to us, it was kind of a thing where it's like, oh my God, that's a little weird. But by the time we had really found out the details concerning like who was doxing us and I guess their reasonings why, and we saw the extent that they did it, it was like we were far enough removed that nothing had happened to us, thankfully, and honestly, I believe that we have a good community around our show that doesn't accept that kind of stuff going on anyway. So we were pretty we made it out all right, I guess I could say. But not everybody gets away, making it out all right. I guess the different people take it in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like some people would flip out if they get doxxed to the extent that we did. Some people don't care, and some people would just be like, well, whatever, I have nothing to hide. But I've seen people in the commentary community get doxxed even, to a crazier extent than we have, where it's family members and their personal lives and stuff. So it gets way crazier than even what happened to us, me and Kevin.
Yeah, when I was doxxed, it was relatively quick and painless, to be honest. We were able to catch it quickly, got it reported, got it removed early on, and it absolutely was frustrating. And you kind of wonder, how many more times are you going to deal with something like this? But yeah, I think it all depends on how you handle it. I think. There's not much you can do if you respond or try to retort at all. So I think your best bet is just to get it off the internet and try your best to move on. As far as the fan interaction or audience interaction goes, I think for the most part, I'll echo what Danny said. We've been pretty blessed. We have a good group of viewers. Most of the people that interact on the Discord and in the audience are at least seeming to be in the right place. But yeah, I've seen and experienced a few where it can get, sometimes the parasocial aspect of it can get a little alarming, I would say, where you just you get worried about making sure you keep, I guess, everyone at an arm's length. You always have to remind yourself, no matter how long you've been talking to someone online, that you don't really know them. There's a lot of hours in the day, and hopefully we aren't spending all 8 of them during the workday or whatever in front of the computer. So there's a lot of stuff people can hide from you. So I don't know. I've been able to avoid most of that because I don't get too close to the audience. I think it's healthier if we have a relationship in the public forum of the Discord or on Twitter. I try to keep all of my audience interactions somewhere like that.
Now, when you guys speak of these doxes, how are these doxes being disseminated? Like, how do they get put out on the internet? What is the avenue that these bad actors take?
Mine was Twitter. My docs were put out on a Twitter account, and I think I was fortunate enough to have been tagged in the post, which was how I found it, at least as quickly as I did, and was able to file the complaint to have the tweet taken down. So on my end, it was specifically X Twitter. I don't know if there were other social medias involved for Danny's.
As it usually goes, it's like I feel like the people that do this kind of they get their Discord groups together or whatever. There's some sort of Discord call or group chat where they kind of spread this information. I mean, like I feel like when we're especially when we're talking about like the Dove thing, they use Discord as kind of their vehicle to talk and spread the information within each other. But then when they want to really make a swing, when they want to make their, when they want to call somebody out, when they want to make their stand somehow, they usually do the route that Kevin experienced. They go to Twitter. It's a very public place, easy to link and share, and that's where they do it.
And you guys just mentioned Discord. Could you guys each give me like your definition of what Discord is for those who don't know what Discord is and why people use it?
I mean, Discord specifically, is like an app where it's a bunch of, I don't know. They used to be, when I grew up, it was like forums you would go to, you would find your favorite video game forum and you would make a username. And then there's all kinds of pages and sections for you to talk about specific things about your video game or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now this forum thing gets evolved into Discord, where it's essentially, servers that host these things. So you find like ours specifically, the Clout Route server. And then in there, you can engage with all the Clout Route fans. You can, obviously there's different parts of the server. So different sections where we're either talking about the news or funny things that have happened or personal experiences, yada, yada. So yeah, the Discord really is like an evolved forum, or like I guess if you could even relate it to like an AOL or Yahoo chat room or something to that extent. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And as we're moving on here, we're just I'm kind of skipping around here. So we're not going to tell no straight stories here, but we were talking about commentary community and creators. Who are some of your two favorite commentary creators in this space? Who do you guys enjoy watching, or who helped inspire you to maybe kind of jump into this space?
For me, I guess it's interesting. Like, I had more experiences of people in the commentary community that I disliked how they did things. And then that influenced me to want to do our show our way. You know what I mean? Like, I've never been, this is why probably that people often label us specifically like anti-commentary kind of thing. But, that's a whole nother story. I never liked the way that the Keemstars, the Diorios, the Augies, Tom's a little better now, I would say. But back then, Turkey Tom, and I don't know, I could go on. It's just a lot of these creators I didn't like. I didn't like them specifically, or how they did things specifically. And I guess that drove me to do differently in our show.
Okay.
My favorite commentary channels coming into it were Keemstar and Ethan Klein. No, I'm just kidding. All right, just in case we needed a little B-roll in there. But no, for me, I actually enjoy the deep dive commentary, so like those documentaries that Keemstar likes to make fun of, those video essays. So The Right Opinion comes to mind, June the King of Nothing, and particularly a fan of Danknet, who would do the same sort of commentary style video essays, but more on lolcows, for lack of a better term, although they weren't necessarily called that at the time that he was really producing most of his documentaries.
Okay. All right. What would you guys say the average age and personality type of a commentary community fan is?
Age range for the commentary community. That's an interesting question. Well, definitely can be as young as, I mean, some of these weirdos running around are very young. And, being an old head myself, or at least, I mean, I'm not that old, but I'm certainly too old to be hanging out with the 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old guys that are doing stuff in the commentary community on Twitter. They're out there. But I'd say the upper limit is, nowadays it goes, it could be your grandpa. You know what I mean? It's like YouTube has allowed anyone to kind of dip their toe. We have Peepaw Riveter. Like the sky's the limit with the age here. So I guess it ranges from everybody, right?
Yeah, I was honestly surprised at how much older the demographic skewed. I think that they're defined not only that there were some older content creators in the community, but also in the audience. A lot more people, I would say, my age in their 30s than maybe I would have initially thought. It feels like it's something that would definitely be more appealing to a younger audience. But at the end of the day, I think there's reality TV's been a thing for 20, 30 years at this, but we all love a little junk food, right? We all love a little drama. I think that's the reality.
Do you two think it is a fair assessment when people are so quick to say that the commentary community is filled with a bunch of autistics?
I'm offended by that, Dave. I'm offended. They call all of us autistic, huh?
They really do. They really do.
Man, I'm gonna have to say that was that. Oh man, that's a burn. That can't be true, is it? Danny,
yeah, no, it's very true. It's very true.
No, it can't be true that we're all autistic, right?
No,
Danny,
of course not.
You're not, right, Danny?
I would certainly say that we're not all autistic. I think it kind of shakes out. You can pick them out. But what is that deal? I don't really get it myself, but yeah, they don't come up with a name like Spurg in the commentary community for nothing. You know what I mean? Like that is ever present in the commentary community.
A perfect segue. Can you guys define, the term Spurg is often used in the commentary community. Guys, what is a Spurg?
A Spurg is a derogatory term used, I believe, to reference individuals that suffer from Asperger's. And like our beloved King Cobra JFS, shouts out. And I guess Spurg just kind of turned into an alternate. Of course, there's a redacted word that a lot of people cannot say, the R word. So the Spurg turned into an insult that could be used in its place. That's how I understand it, Danny.
No, I'm right there with you, Kevin. Spurg is like it's weird because it's a community where, as Kevin put so elegantly, redacted. It's a community where they don't mind saying whatever words. Okay, it's F slur this, R word that, N word this. You know what I'm saying? It's a community where they don't care. I do think that Spurg ends up being an alternative for the dreaded R word there, but it's not like they don't say that too. It's kind of funny. They just needed another one.
Fair. Fair. All right. So as we're moving on now, we're going to kind of get into some more of the, let's see here. Well, we covered a lot of stuff. Can you guys real quick, just so I can have this kind of as just like an extra little thing. Can you guys explain what a Twitter beef is and why is that a thing in commentary?
A Twitter beef. I guess a Twitter beef, that's where my roots come from. It's like, a tipster posts something that he thinks totally based, and I just got to drop a comment underneath, shit talking him until at least I get blocked, which, with someone like him specifically, it doesn't take very long. I think that's the fun of it, though. The fun people to engage with in the commentary community will let you, will get into a couple Twitter beefs, and it's not the end of the world. I think some of these folk out here, Kevin had said something about thick skin. Some of them have very thin skin. And the block button is like their binky, it's their safety blanket.
For sure.
Yeah, to me, a Twitter beef is something that includes a lot of quote tweeting. You get to a point where you're basically, it seems like both, at least as it pertains to the commentary community, both groups trying to get their audience riled up. You have a fight. And sometimes I think a lot of them are genuine. I think Twitter is designed to be a place where you can get angry very easily and spend your time arguing with people who disagree with you. But I also think it's great for your metrics, and it can really help you with the algorithm and getting your name out there. So that is why certain channels have constantly been accused of manufacturing some of their drama, and some of it's on Twitter, some of it's even in Twitter group chats that end up getting leaked. So I think at some point it becomes part of a commentary community's commentary channel's marketing tool if they decide to sort of break that fourth wall. As speaking as from the world of wrestling, as a wrestling fan, sometimes maybe they break kayfabe a little bit, or work themselves and make it look like there's a big Twitter beef, and then the next thing you know, everybody's on a stream together talking about it, hashing it out.
For sure. Danny, does the commentary community have any rules, official rules?
Is there a commentary community guidebook? Like, it's like you should work on this, Dave. Dave's declassified commentary community survival guide or something, rip off that old school show.
For sure.
No, I don't think that there are any official rules out there. You can ask different people and I'm sure they'll say different things. My rule is to just have fun with it. I feel like people get a stick up their ass about this stuff way too often. It's like, why am I taking the piss out of somebody on Twitter other than to have fun? Don't have a nuclear fucking meltdown. As I said before, don't hit the block button immediately. Have a little fun with it. Okay. Don't take yourself so seriously.
For sure. And again, Kev, do you mirror that statement?
Yeah, I do. I mean, Danny and I have, we are different in our Twitter approaches. I don't do as much of the trash talk. So maybe I am actually, I'm not as anti the block button as Danny is, if I'm being honest with you, because, for me, if that's what you got to do to keep your peace, and I'd rather block somebody than get into a Twitter beef with them and type something out that I'm going to regret or start a fight, or so for me, I'm more of I like to walk away from a situation and try to come back at it with a level head. But again, I don't think you can sign up for a Twitter account and not expect to be trolled. I think at that point, that's a little bit on you, and you got to be prepared to, however you're going to want to handle it. You got to just be prepared to handle it, because it's going to happen.